Hey y'all, my name's Kathy. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the young adult librarian at Library 21C in the Pikes Peak Library District. Today I'm going to show you how to use nail polish to marble mugs, something like my little test sample here. For this project, you'll need some white, or like my example, mostly white mugs. You can find cheap mugs sometimes in the clearance section of a grocery store or somewhere like Target or Walmart, or you can go to a thrift store. A container that you're willing to sacrifice for this project. You can still see the remnants of nail polish from my example, so won't be eating food from this again. Some toothpicks, nail polish in the color of your choice. I found this Sinful Colors brand at Target. It's about $2 a bottle. You also need hot water and then a paper towel to set the mug on when you've finished dipping it. I have my container here. I'm going to fill it about halfway with hot water. The hotter, the better. When the nail polish touches the water, it's going to want to set together. The heat will help it not clump so much. Now I'm going to take my bottle of nail polish here, get it very close to the surface, and drip in a couple of drops. And then I'm going to blow across the surface of the water to get it to disperse a little. Now I'll take my mug and dip it in here. All right, let me move this out of my way. So you can see I've got one big spot there, but a nice splash across this side, a nice splash over here too. So I'm going to set this upside down on my paper towel to dry, and we'll try another color here. I'll do this dark blue this time. So you really have to be ready to move quickly with this after you drip in the nail polish. I'm going to try one here with a couple colors at once. So I'm going to do a drop of each of these. Okay, so on this one, that lighter color sort of clumped over here. Some of the blue got onto the inside, which is not ideal. So I'm going to try to just wipe out what I've got on the inside here, because you do not want nail polish residue in your food. Looks like some of that has set up too quickly for me to take it out. So that one will be a not for food mug. And at the end of the video here, I can mention a couple things you can do with mugs other than drink or eat from them. So if you also accidentally get some nail polish inside one of your mugs, you have some idea of what to do with that mug. Now I'm going to try this one swirling with the toothpick instead of blowing the nail polish around. I've had some trouble with this method. I found that it always basically clumps immediately, but let's see. Well, that actually did pretty well that time. But you have to move very quickly. When I've used the toothpick to stir before, if there's even like another second there between the nail polish hitting the water and you scooting it around with the toothpick, it will all clump around the toothpick. And then it just sticks to the toothpick and is not in the water for your mug decoration. So here are my finished nail polish marbled mugs. They're not done drying. You'll want to let them dry at least overnight before you use them. I'll hold them up here so you can see what the color in the nail polish bottle looks like compared to the color on the mug itself. I think that in general, the color looks darker in the bottle than it does on the mug. So that's something to keep in mind when you're deciding what colors you want to use, is that generally it's going to look at least a little lighter on the mug than it does in the bottle. If you have one like this one with quite a lot of nail polish left on the bottom, you can just use some nail polish remover to take that off if you like. Then I'll go over in a minute some ideas for mugs like this one, right, that has a lot of nail polish that got into the mug itself there, because you do not want to ingest nail polish. So keep in mind when you're dipping the mugs, it was sort of harder for me to see just because of the camera setup that I have, but you don't want that water to go into the mug itself, which is what caused this problem. And you want to make sure, you know, you can keep dipping them if you want, use different colors. I went back in a second time with this one. I think this was the original part that I marbled, and then I went in on the other side and did it again. But you want to make sure that you leave at least some room around the rim for you to drink out of the mug. So I wouldn't want to drink out of this side because the nail polish goes all the way up to the lip line there. I would want to drink out of this side. So just make sure you leave some space for that. Do not put these in the microwave after you've marbled them with the nail polish. That can be dangerous. You're not supposed to put them in the dishwasher either, but that'll just sort of wear the nail polish off of the mug over time. So if you want to keep it looking the beautiful way you've made it, just make sure to hand wash them. So with a mug like this, where I got nail polish on the inside and I wasn't quick enough to get it out before it finished setting, I don't want to use this for food or drinks. So some other things that you can do with a mug: you can make it into a candle, so you'd need some wax, a wick, maybe some fragrances, but it's a pretty straightforward craft. You could use this to make a small little planter for some herbs or something like that. A pen or pencil cup, of course, or any other thing like that that you want to organize into a space. You can use this to help you with future crafts. So if you like to paint, you can use mugs to separate out your paint colors or hold the water for your paintbrush between colors. We have in our house here, this mug is actually from a previous Pikes Peak Library District reading program, a little date or activity mug, you know, dates, things to do with friends, things to do with family. If you're ever like, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do this weekend? We just have a bunch of different ideas on these sticks here. So Colorado Springs Conservatory Jazz Nights, Seven Falls, the Western Museum of Mining and Industry, the Air and Space Museum. Pulled lots of museums here. Wandering around Old Colorado City, going to a tea house, going to a theater, Cave of the Winds. Just a huge variety of different things around the area here, some of which we've visited before and we know we like, some of which we've never been to before. So if we're looking for something to do, you know, we can just pull at random here. Let's go to the Wild West Ghost Town Museum. And I have at the top some symbols, including dollar signs to sort of sort them into brackets. A lot of things, especially some museums, are free. And then different symbols to sort of sort them into categories of activities. A little fork and knife for food, a little ticket for things like going to a movie or the theater, a little magnifying glass for things that you sort of explore like a museum. And I have a little suitcase here too for things like Cheyenne Mountain State Park, places that you would go for longer than a couple hours. You know, it might be a weekend trip sort of activity. So you can either just pull something at random, or you can look in here and say, well, we're looking for something to do for dinner. What's the first fork and knife I see here? Let's go to the rabbit hole. So those are some ideas for things that you can do with a mug, especially if you've made it no longer food safe. If you go out to buy nail polish and you don't exactly love what you're finding, we have a book at the library called Homemade Nail Polish by Allison Rose Spikerman. And it goes over, you know, what is it that's in nail polish, the ingredients, what to look for when you're buying things, and a bunch of different ways that you can make or mix your own nail polish, you know, adding in eyeshadows, adding in various glitters, making it holographic, and then ways to fix nail polish that you already have, that you have problems with, etc. So this can be a cool resource if you look at what's at the store and you don't love it, or you like it okay, but you just want to mix it up. If you don't like to paint your nails, there are a bunch of other things that you can do with nail polish after you've used it for this project. I know a lot of people will use it to paint the tops of keys so that they know, you know, the house key is blue and the mail key is red. You can use it to paint jewelry or shoes or magnets. There's a bunch of different ideas. You can just poke around and you'll find probably 100. I think that these mugs make a pretty cool, cheap gift for someone. You can make it into a little hot cocoa kit with some hot cocoa mix, marshmallows, candy canes, that sort of thing. Or I saw the idea of making a get well soon kit. So you would put into the mug some chicken bouillon powder, some dried pasta, dehydrated vegetables. So then somebody just has to add hot water to the mug to make a little cup of soup. And of course, you can just eat or drink out of them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll have fun making this neat little craft, and I'll see you next time.